Every writer has something that can be copied. It's like a fingerprint that is made of rhythm, tone, and emotional truth. And that is your voice. It gives your work emotional depth and personality. And it makes readers think, I know exactly who wrote this story. I'm sure you've had that experience with your favorite author. I know that I have. But what I want to talk about today is AI and the use of it to write our stories. It's becoming a regular part of everybody's life, including writers. And though I'm not going to talk about using it or not using it, I am going to discuss losing sight of your own individuality. When an AI tool can create clean, well-structured prose, you might start to think, well, then where is my voice in this? What is my role? Why am I even writing if AI can do it just as well as I can? And does my voice really even matter? And I'm going to argue today that yes, it does. It matters even more than ever. So let's talk about that today.
You have a story to tell, but you don't know where to start. Let me show you how to free your story. I teach you how to write and how to dig deep in your soul to release your story and make a difference in the world.
Welcome to the Julia Amante channel. I'm really happy to have you here today. And I am a women's fiction author, as many of you know, romance and women's fiction. And I make videos to share what I know in the hopes that it will help you as you write your story. So let's talk about AI. And is it replacing you and your voice? And the first thing I'm going to say is that there is a real risk out there. And you don't want to add to it. You don't want to replace yourself. So just in the last year, I've noticed that there's a real struggle. I see it on social media all the time. People talking about, should I use it? And people saying that it's evil and other people saying that it's not. But the struggle isn't really so much anymore, should I use AI, but like, how much should I use it? So yes, it's tempting, I guess, for some to let a program finish the story or fix an awkward scene or I don't know, even generate entire chapters. So for example, I've mentioned in previous videos that, my weakness has always been description. Should I just say, tell chat GPT or whatever, help me with this description, change this description for me or make it better? I can. It'll probably will spit out like a perfect description of a sunset. But is it my description or is it the way that my characters would describe that sunset? Because if it isn't, what you're risking is that it sounds very generic, like anybody else would describe it. And we would all describe it differently, right? From our point of view, from what we see or from what we're feeling. So if you are using AI in that way for having it write something for you, what you're risking is losing your own unique voice. We all have our own quirks. We all have our own way of saying things, and it's unique to us. We don't really want a generic description or a generically written chapter that doesn't sound anything like us. Because yes, it may sound polished, but it won't sound personal. So you may appear to be competent, but it might not be very compelling to a reader. So I think the danger of AI isn't so much that it's going to take over or it's going to write books for, it's going to write books and that's what readers are going to want. There probably will be books written completely by AI, and there may be some that are good and there may be some that readers like. I think the real danger is that writers themselves will start replacing themselves with it by telling it to write certain things for them. And I think that is the tragedy. Okay, so let's talk about voice. What shapes your writing voice? Finding your voice does not happen overnight, but the good thing is that it comes from you. It's shaped from everything that you are and everything that you do. And that's great news because that means that that's what distinguishes you from other writers. So think about what is recorded on your soul, your experiences that you've had, the way that you look at life, the things that you've read, the authors that have shaped you, the things that you believe. All of that is going to help create your writing voice. And since no one else has had the same experiences as you have, you will have your own voice. So ask yourself, for example, what are your literary influences? I think every writer has admired certain works, certain authors, and those do affect our writing because not that we want to write exactly like them, but it impacts the way that we write. It might impact the genre that we write. Your voice is also shaped by your genre. So if you're a horror writer, if you are a thriller writer, if you're a romance writer, your voice is going to be shaped by that. So yes, a lot of thriller writers are going to sound alike, because not exactly alike, but I mean, they are going to sound similar because the genre calls for that. A lot of romance novels are going to sound the same, but you know that the voice is very different depending on who the author is. But still, your voice is shaped by that genre. And then lastly, it's shaped by your own experiences. Like I mentioned, your background, your history, your losses, your victories, your pains, all of that is going to shape your worldview, and your voice comes from that. So the good thing is that AI can analyze patterns and they can write books, right, for each genre, but it doesn't really know what it feels like to grow up in a specific place, to have had certain experiences. It can only mimic it. It can't feel it. And therefore, it can't really express it the same way that you would. And this is why I think a lot of the emotions that are written by AI, they're just very generic. They're not the way that we as human beings would describe them. So am I saying don't use it at all? I'm not going to say that, because it's the future. As a professor, I'm facing the same thing as I am as a writer. Do I tell students not to use it? It's really hard not to say that, because it's where we're moving towards, right? So how do I prepare my business students if I tell them don't use AI, but other students are, or other business people are? So it's a problem. But as writers, if you are using AI, what you need to use it as is as a mirror, not as a mask. So here is an interesting exercise. Ask AI to you write a passage and then put it into AI, and then ask it to write it in different ways, for different tones, more dramatic, more minimalistic, more descriptive, more lyrical. This is actually kind of fun. I did do that. And it was interesting because each version was exactly what I said, but it was very different. And so look at your original and then look at all these other ones, and then ask yourself, like, what do I miss about these other ones that was in my voice when my words are actually gone? What am I missing from my original passage? And which one of these versions sounds really mechanical and less intuitive? What makes my original version sound more like me, and the other ones sound more almost overly polished or overly done? Like if you tell it to write it in a humorous, for me, for example, yeah, the humorous passage that it redid, it sounded nothing like me because I don't write humor, right? I don't write in that style. So when it changed it to that style, it didn't no longer sounded like anything that I would write. So it's very interesting, because what it starts to do is it starts to wake something up inside of yourself, saying, okay, wait, I do have a voice. I do have a way of saying things, and it is unique to me, because none of these other ones sound like me. And it creates a really great awareness of what defines you as a writer and your writing. You'll start to notice that you have certain rhythms, that you have certain images that you like, that you're either a very emotional writer, or you're not. So AI becomes this tool for reflection. There may be one that you actually do like. Like you may say, I really like this version of how it did it, and how can I write more like that? That is a voice that I actually like. Maybe I like the more dramatic way that it wrote it. And I like my voice, and I like my images, but I did like the way that it sounded this way. So how do I become this type of writer? Anyways, it creates this mirror, right? Where you can see, this is what I do well. This is what I don't do well. This is what I want to do more of. This is what I want to do less of. So it becomes a nice reflection, and it doesn't become a replacement of you. You're not actually saying, okay, write it this way, I'm going to take that and just use that. That's what you don't want to do. So one thing I'm saying here is hold on to what is yours. Don't let AI isn't going away, right? So it's actually, I heard that it was like tripling in capacity every 6 months. But that doesn't mean that your individuality has to disappear. I think that writers that do know their voice and are original and unique and stick to that will stand out even more in this world flooded by AI created stuff, because your stuff will sound different. It will sound like you rather than like everybody else. One thing that I think AI will do is it creates this uniformity, and you don't want it to. You don't want to sound like everybody else. The use of M dashes by AI irritates me because I've used them in the past, but now I tend to shy away from them because I don't want it to appear like it's AI. I don't want to, since it does it, I don't want to do it. So I don't want it. I don't want that uniformity. I don't want my work to look like everybody else's. But then, sometimes I think, well, an M dash would be perfect here, and that's what I'm going to put it in. So, you have to balance what you do. So am I kind of fooling myself here? Is AI going to be able to actually mimic exactly who we are? I know that it can do a lot of that. Like you can tell it, this is my voice, this is right like me. And it can. I don't know how well it can do it, but I know it can do it. Will it be able to do it better and better each month that goes by? Maybe, but that is why it's super important for you to know yourself now. Like, know who you are, know what your voice is. Develop that if you haven't. Understand who you are as a writer before you rely on any kind of AI tool. So it's best not to even use it if you feel like you don't have a strong voice yet, because you don't want it to change your voice. You don't want it to grab you and say, this is the kind of writer that you are. You want to know who you are, and then you want to use it as a tool if you need it. For example, I am terrible at titles. I don't mind if it creates titles for me. I write blogs or whatever. It's like, okay, this is what I'm writing about. I need a title for this section, and it gives me a title. Perfect. I don't care about that. But I would care very much if it wrote a scene for me, because that's not me, right? That's not what I want. I want it to have my voice. I want it to be my thoughts. I want it to be mine, right? Mine completely. I don't want it to be something that it created. So before you let technology guide your creative choices, make sure that you know who you are first. So read a lot, write a lot, reflect a lot on your own writing, on who you are as a writer. Pay attention to the words that you like and that you use and how those words make you feel about your writing. And then once you are confident in yourself as a writer, then you can use AI as a tool. It's great for research. It's great for a lot of other things, but it shouldn't be great at your voice. That should be yours. That should be your style. It's almost like part of your soul, right? Like, I don't want it mimicking me. It feels weird. I don't want it writing like me. Because again, it feels like it's stealing part of your soul, right? Like I don't mind it giving me a title, but I would again mind very much if it wrote like me. It would be kind of creepy. And I don't want a machine imitating me. So my suggestion to you is to continue to develop your voice. Your voice is going to develop over time. You do need to have some patience. You do need to reflect a lot, and you need to be willing to sound like yourself, even if you feel like it's not really polished, it's not great, it's not as wonderful as some other author. That's okay, because it's you and it will sound like you. I mean, one of the great things about authors is that, some authors do sound really lyrical and very descriptive, and another ones sound, they're shorter sentences. They're very, basic, not in a bad way, but in a great way. Like, there's a lot of authors that I like who write very simply, but the stories are deep and they're really touching, and they don't need all that other, the long sentences and the very flowery descriptions. Then there's others that do have that, and that makes that beautiful. So let whatever you write, find the beauty in that, and don't try to be something else that isn't authentically you. So nurture your own voice, protect it, and let it lead you forward towards your future and your story. I'm not here to tell people if they should use it or not use it or how to use it. My goal here is just to make sure that you, again, protect your voice and are true to it. And it'll be interesting to see where we all go in the future and how things develop. We're in a new world. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please like it, please share it. Give me some comments. I really would love, love, love to hear how you are using it, how you're adapting to it. If you're finding it helpful, if you're finding it intrusive, if you hate it, definitely this is a conversation I think that all writers are having right now. And it's great for us to all chat about it and, nicely, letting people be who they are and use whatever tools they think are going to help them become a better writer. But it's great to, I think, chat about it. So yeah, definitely leave me a comment and have a great week. I'll see you next week.